Yeah, good. Awesome. Okay, well,
thank you all for joining our presentation.
Yeah.
We're thrilled to be here.
Yeah, this has been a great conference. Thank you, Debbie, for putting on such a great 2 days. So, quick show of hands. This is really more of a question for the guys in the room, but how many of you have ever had to go through the process of renting a tuxedo? Okay.
Awesome, every single guy in the room.
Pretty much everyone.
So wasn't it an amazing experience? I mean, I can't imagine a better way to spend a half hour than going to the store to get measured first, right?
And then not really fitting right when you pick it up 2 days
day before. 2 days before.
And then what I always think is funny is like those pants are adjustable.
Yeah, just like my 3-year-old's pants. It's so cute, Multiple guys can wear them. It makes total sense.
And then dragging yourself to the store the day after the night you wore it is also super fun. So, basically, what we were saying here is that the tuxedo rental is not a great option, but for the longest time, it's been really the only option for men to be able to wear a tuxedo when they aren't interested in spending $500, $600, $700 to purchase one. And that's what brings us to the Groomsman suit. We really wanted to be able to offer men a better option than the terrible tuxedo rental. And so we developed a line of suiting and tuxedos that are under $200 to own. So for $194, guys can buy and keep a suit or a tuxedo to wear primarily at weddings, but even beyond to work and whatnot. And, unlike a lot of the brands you've heard from in the past 2 days, you've probably never heard of the Groomsman suit. And you're probably asking yourself, what business do we have being up here to talk about SEO and customer love? Like, do we even have any customers? I'm not so sure. But,
we do.
But we're a young company, so we just started in 2016, and we're really happy, grateful, blessed to be able to say that it's been a pretty fun journey. We last year was our second full year in business, and we did $2.5 million in sales. 2018, our biggest challenge was that we were growing too fast. We were selling out of everything we had, and people love to say oh, that's a great problem to have. You guys are crushing, and it's not when you're dealing with brides and you have
weddings
people,
and important dates.
Yeah, and you have 1,500 back orders. It's we survived, and we got through it. We learned a lot. It made us do a lot of things for our customers that
we didn't ever expect we had to do.
Yeah. But we came out on the other end, and we're really excited to be in 2019, where we actually have a lot of inventory and are ready for the growth.
And we're excited to just tell you our story and about the journey of basically starting from scratch with our own investment money, no marketing dollars, and how we were able to build the business to what it is today.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, by no means are we saying we're an expert in SEO.
We're still learning every single day.
Customer service or customer love, but we have learned a few things along the way. And I think the biggest thing that we've learned is that being a niche brand really has paid off for us. When Jean and I were thinking about the concept for an affordable suiting line, it being 2 women in menswear, it's really hard to wrap our heads around where did we want to start with this, and how would we ever convince customers to purchase from us. And for us, engaged couples was really that tangible community of customers that we could really grasp and focus on.
We've both been brides, and so when you're planning a wedding, it's pretty much all about the bride, right? And the bride sort of controls who's planning what, who's wearing what, and so it was natural for us to decide, we understand that part. We understand weddings. We understand that this is a huge frustration point for men. And how can we make that experience that women have in weddings the same for men?
Exactly. And
long overdue.
And while we would love to say that we knew that these were going to be 3 benefits to being a niche brand, the last 2 and 3 are really ones that we sort of stumbled upon, after we got going and the business got going, in the sense that all of our customers became our influencers. I mean, who doesn't love their wedding photos, and who doesn't want to share them? And for a lot of guys, finding their suit and taking care of that aspect of wedding planning is the only thing they're allowed to touch. And so they're so excited. They've been like, they email us all the time, like, Diana, look at how great I looked. Like, it's such a source of pride. And so we just get tons of their photos back, and they're sharing us and sharing the love. And there was also this amazing network effect where inevitably, if you outfit one wedding, there is always 1, 2, 3 other guys in the wedding party that are either engaged or about to be engaged. And when you provide somebody with a great experience, especially guys really love convenience. And once they've gone through it, if they know their size, they're oftentimes likely to use us for their wedding as well.
So a little bit of background about us, because it's probably pretty strange to be looking at 2 women starting a menswear business, and where did this idea even come from? Well, in 2013, I was working as a technical designer, and I was also engaged in planning a wedding. Thankfully, I have my best friend since the 3rd grade, Diana, to help me in this experience, and we were popping champagne, picking out my dress, what
we had so many options, price points. It was just a really exciting.
It's great. It's amazing.
And kickoff to the big day.
And in the background, I tell my husband-to-be, please just go get the guys some tuxedos. I don't even know where to start, but I'm assuming there's a big box store guys can go in, $99, and they'll look like $1 million, right? That's how it works, I assumed. So he did that, and we had 9 groomsmen, so it's a lot of guys. I had 2 brothers. They obviously went through the experience, and the day of, gorgeous, I'm ready, I'm feeling amazing, all the girls are together. And then, we're dancing, we're having a great time, and the guys are you're starting to notice the fit issues.
Yeah, even getting ready during the day, like a couple guys had mentioned to me on the side because they don't want the bride to know, like, we've had to switch a couple jackets, like the sizes weren't right,
and my brothers were younger.
Like pinned, his shirt together.
Yeah. And you just think a tuxedo is a moment where you're feeling your best, right? You're dressed to the nines. It's a very special event. Weddings is one of the biggest events in your life. And my 2 younger brothers, who should have looked just incredible, were hiking up their pants, elastic waist. So it wasn't great. Even better, the day after the wedding, everybody had to jet out of town, and I got the honor of returning the tuxedos to the tuxedo shop. So I go to the hotel room and grab the tuxedo bag, and they're lumped in the bottom of the bag, shoes on top of everything, and I'm appalled. And I'm like, I don't think I can return them this way. You can't return stuff to a shop and get, your deposit back if you return it. They're like, yes, you can. That's how it works. So I dragged them back to the tuxedo shop, plop them on the counter, and I got the receipt. And that's when I realized they had spent close to $250 to rent these tuxedos for one day. So I had a bit of guilt, and I thought, oh my gosh, I can't believe we made these guys do this. There had to have been a better option. I just dropped the ball. I just didn't look into it. Well, after looking into it, there really wasn't a better option, and that was the average price to get somebody suited up for a wedding. And the reason I didn't hear about it is because the guys were used to it. And that was the status quo. I think it's created this environment that when guys are asked to be in a wedding, it's great, but
it's also
man, I wish I wasn't your best friend.
Yeah, you're like, thanks, but no thanks.
Yeah, I've got a suit in my closet I could wear, but you're making me go get this, So it's frustrating. So that's where the concept for this came about. Thankfully, a job relocation for my husband took us to New York, this great city where so many options for starting a company are at your fingertips. And that's when we started making samples.
And just a little bit of background, Jean has a fashion design background, so when she went to return everything the day after her own wedding, that price tag was crazy because for her, as a garment, suiting is not rocket science. When you think of it, it doesn't evolve much over time. It's not like women's wear where the fabrics and colors are super seasonal, especially in weddings. It tends to be very traditional, and so, it was like, how is this? Why isn't this possible that a guy can reliably purchase a suit or a tuxedo for under $200? Yeah. And so,
meanwhile, Diana is in business school. I got married, moved to New York, found another job as a technical designer, and we reconnected. Diana was living in Boston, and I shared the idea with her. As a business school graduate, she loved the idea and said, let's give it a try. We weren't willing to invest our entire life savings in an order of 1,000 suits. Where were we going to keep them? What if they didn't sell?
Jean was 6 months pregnant, and it was like her future unborn child's college education. So we were like, we need a way to be able to test the validity of this idea without actually putting any money up front.
So we leaned on Kickstarter. Great platform to test the concept. We thought if we could even sell $7,000 worth of suits or tuxedos on this platform, we would have the validation we needed to launch the line. And it wasn't necessarily about raising the funds we actually needed for the order, but more validation that guys actually wanted this concept to come to fruition. So we launched the campaign, and within 2 weeks we hit our objective and continued to raise even more as time went on. We were so excited.
Yeah, by the end of it, I think we had sold 100 suits and tuxedos, and we were like, we are ready to launch this into the universe. We need our website together. We spent way too long working on our website to make it absolutely perfect.
Because, you know, when you launch a website, the website traffic, it just hits you and you just don't know what to do. There's so many orders. It was going to be hot. It was going to be hard to manage.
And then we realized we had actually already launched our website accidentally a few days earlier, and we were like,
I had a total freak out. What are people going to think? There's typo on this page. There's an issue with that. The picture isn't perfect on that. And then reality set in.
The problem was nobody was going to. So this is really where the real work for us began in our marketing efforts. And you know, where do we go when where do you do when you have no money? We had just spent all of the Kickstarter money on our first inventory order.
So
such a
naturally,
photo.
Diana got on the phone, and this is what she looks like every time she gets on the phone. She holds the garment bag, and her hair looks perfect.
Yeah.
And so Diana got on the phone and started networking with a lot of wedding planners. And sure enough, these wedding planners were very excited to hear that they could send their grooms and groomsmen to a reliable person that they knew they had a personal contact with, and that we were going to make the process seamless for them. They weren't going to hear nightmare stories about the rental issues. And so that really started things off very positively. We started sending samples to them to check out as validation that the product was really a great value, very high quality for the price.
And what was great about sending them the product, and we didn't realize this at the time, but a lot of wedding planners like to do their own styled shoots, so they would actually get our suiting photographed. And with those photo shoots also came like getting those shoots.
Free marketing materials.
Yeah, free marketing materials. They would get them published in wedding magazines, wedding blogs. We'd get backlinks to our website. And so we slowly started to build this brand awareness around the groomsman suit. And then, you know, we would just beg.
We begged every wedding expo in New York, do you have a corner booth that nobody wants? You know, maybe we could do $100 here, $200 there. We just wanted to get in front of engaged couples, and we were willing to do that at any, you know, physical expense. We would do anything, but we just didn't have the money. And thankfully, a lot of the expos did give us the opportunity because of the lack of menswear brands showing up at these events. So
yeah, menswear is not a hot option for those. You know, it's always about the bride. It's all about the bride.
Yeah.
So we really had a lot of opportunities to kind of sneak in and
you see the bride dragging the groom through the expo, looking at flowers and dresses and things, and he's miserable. So thankfully, we ended up just having the grooms come over to us, talking to them about suiting, educating them on it, and they loved it. So we were really able to build those relationships, and that direct contact with true customers that were in need of our product really got sales started, and we started to see the website traffic pick up.
Yeah, but there's only so much you can do from like an outreach perspective, especially when there's only two of you and you're packing orders from your small New York apartment. And so we knew like we had to start generating a natural source of traffic to our website organically, and that's really where SEO came into play. Now, at the time, like neither of us had really much experience with SEO.
I'm pretty sure I asked Diana what it meant.
Yep, you did.
What did the letters mean?
So we ordered SEO for Dummies, the book, and got cracking. But, you know, again, this is where being a niche brand really was beneficial for us because truly, when you're launching a website out into the universe, you really need to understand what is the product you're selling and who are you selling it to, and what are the search terms that are going to connect your product to those people. And, again, for us, because we were in men's wedding attire, it made focusing on about 25 keywords really much more easy for us. And so we ended up, just really infusing the website with this list of 25 keywords that we decided to double down on. And this is actually our keyword traffic growth. We now just crossed like the 10,000th keyword that we're trending for. I think we're in the top 3 for about 200 different words. We get about 35 to 40,000 hits to our website every month. And that's a great source of traffic. And where we really were able to put a lot of the keywords and build a lot of content was our blog. From the moment we started the Groomsman suit, we wanted to offer this great product, but we also wanted to build the brand as the reliable resource in men's wedding attire. And fortunately, men are not wearing suiting and tuxedos that much anymore, so it gave us a ton of opportunity to tell them how to do it. And so we have literally written we've written hundreds of blogs about everything from how your suit should fit to how to find the perfect pant length to where to pin your boutonniere. And by virtue of that, that gave us a lot of really substantial content that we could not only use in social media advertising, those are great posts to boost, but once it came time to actually having a sophisticated email marketing campaign and really be able to provide our customers with great service, in the journey of that big day, every month we send them a new email. Okay, the wedding day is this much closer. You should know how your suit should fit. If you haven't had your pants hemmed, it's time to do it. Here's how to do it. If you need any alterations, these are the ones you should think of. And so we already had this great content to share and to enhance their experience. And then, besides blogging, keyword engineering is a real thing, and it is a labor of love. And I put this slide here. It's a little technical, but honestly, and it doesn't look like some of the circles are showing up, so I apologize, but I had labeled in...
Yeah, they were circled a little
That's
bit.
okay. I labeled sort of what everything is, but essentially, your H1 tag, your meta descriptions, your title tag, your page title tag. So this is actually the back end of our wedding suit collection page, and you can see that our primary keyword is men's wedding suits, and we've infused it from the H1 men's wedding suits into the meta description. And that meta description, for those of you that don't know, because I didn't know, we had no idea, that is what you see when you Google anything. It's that small bit of text that always gets cut off, but it's the first bit of information telling you what that company, what that link is going to be about if you were to click on it. And Google will penalize you if you're rigging the system and if you're stuffing keywords into a page that don't align from your H1 tag to your meta descriptions to your alternative text. And so really engineering, coming up with, again, going back to that list of 25 keywords that you determine in the beginning, and really building pages dedicated to each keyword in a very authentic way does give great results.
And we were getting great results. We were seeing huge increase of website traffic, huge increase of orders.
Oh,
you know what? I should have done that. That was my fault. I'm not clicking. We were too sophisticated when we built the slide. Just so everybody knows, the H1 first header. This is also Shopify backend, screenshots of the backend. But this was very impactful. So that's the meta description, and then the image alt text. So we had this flow of traffic. Customers were reaching out and emailing us, asking for more information, and then we started to realize what the barriers were, because with website traffic doesn't necessarily come orders. So people were visiting our site and then leaving. And some would place orders and some would ask questions and leave. So we wanted to identify some pretty clear barriers and try to offer opportunities for men to get over those barriers. So the biggest barrier, honestly, was our price. Our price was under $200, so the natural assumption is that our suits are cheap. They're not going to fit well, and the quality will be poor. The next assumption was, you're online only, do you have a showroom I can come in and try on? I don't know what my size is. So we had to somehow figure out a way to communicate sizing really clearly in an easy way, not sending guys to the shop to get measured, because that is not convenient. And then last, people ask for real photos. What does this actually look like on a real guy? I don't look like the model. I have a football player upper body, and I'm really skinny on the bottom. How is this going to actually play out? I usually have to pay hundreds of dollars in alterations. I just want to see what other people look like. And not only that, they want to see how, they wanted style advice. They wanted to know what color tie looks best with the navy suit, and would that go with their theme.
Yeah, so the three kind of mechanisms that we came up with to combat these barriers was first, a free home trial to engaged couples. So engaged couples can go to our website, they can create a whole look. They can select a suit, accessories. We will ship them a whole box of stuff for free to let them play around with it, to see, feel it in their own home, and give them the confidence that they need in order to ask their 7 other friends to order from us. And about 85 to 90% of the time, those free home trials convert to wedding groups, which is really awesome. And then as far as fit, this is really something that every online clothing brand struggles with. And for us, there are a lot of suiting brands out there that say, submit 15 different measurements and we're going to pop a suit out for you. And that is daunting. I mean, to expect anyone to accurately measure themselves in 15 different ways is like a tremendous amount of human error. So, we knew that height and weight are a huge indicator of size, and so we built our own fit finder and our own algorithm that uses a lot of our customer data on the sizes that they're ordering and that are finding successful, and their height and weight, and what fit preference they prefer, and we recommend a size. And I would say over 80% of the time it's accurate when they're actually adding it to the cart, which is another problem that we're now tackling, because sometimes our customers don't like to necessarily listen to our recommendations. And so then, what do these look like on real people? We built this really beautiful real wedding page to not only show couples what does our brilliant blue suit look like in natural light, but also give them inspiration for their weddings.
This was not a surprise to us, but we didn't realize how many customers would be so willing to share their pictures with us. Yeah. And I think the first maybe 10 weddings that we outfitted, we started to receive their full albums and a thank you from them. And we were just inundated with content, stuff to share on social media. So it was really exciting. Especially, again, when you have no marketing dollars and you're struggling to find stuff to share.
Photo shoots are really expensive.
Are really expensive.
So this is something that kind of always makes Gina and I laugh, is the amount of customer reviews that we get and what they say about us, because we just think we're doing whatever, we're treating people as they should. But I mean, if you read any of our reviews, it's all about the service. They say our product is good sometimes, and they really like it. They have no complaints, but what they always comment on is our service. And we just think that's
we used to laugh because we'd get these emails, long emails thanking us, and how the experience was so above and beyond. And being women in weddings, this is what this is our expectation.
And we're Midwestern, so there's a little bit of that, but charm.
So we consistently heard that we made it so easy and affordable for their guys to get suited up, and that's all they wanted. They wanted something in the process of planning their wedding that was easy. Yeah. Because a lot of things are not. And then they wanted to know that we were real. They didn't want a chat bot. They didn't want to send an email and not know that they were going to get a response in 2 days or not. So we made it a priority to be very, very responsive.
In fact, we were actually the only ones answering the phone for the first 2 years. And
email.
It was sort of embarrassing at some point, because customers would call and they'd be like, oh, I'm talking to Diana, the one that started the company, and I'm like, yeah, so-and-so is off on this day, we're a little shorthanded, and it's no, truly, Gina and I were just the only ones able to answer the phone. It was routed to our cell phones. But, we created so many great relationships. I now actually have anxiety because I don't know all the couples that we have anymore. I used to be able, somebody would be able to call me.
She knows all of the history of customers.
I'd be driving, I would answer the phone, and be like, oh, yeah, Joe, sure, when I get back to the office, I'll create that exchange. And it's I could never do that now.
And she even remembered sizes. yeses when they would call, so that was impressive. And then the other biggest thing is that, weddings are a stressful time and things happen so unexpectedly.
Emergencies are real.
Suits are left on trains, they're left on planes, and guys misplace them, or we've even had a house burned down with a suit in it.
Yes.
So we made it our priority to make those moments very easy for the guys and took the stress away.
And we'll send them a new suit.
New suit.
We
So in those
literally
instances,
purchased an airline ticket for a pair of pants, to get it there.
The day, so that it would arrive the day of.
So
and we made it
there's
happen.
really nothing that we wouldn't do for the customer.
And that really built such brand loyalty when you're dealing with guys that are maybe purchasing this for their friend's wedding and they wouldn't have otherwise. To go through a good experience with us, then they share that with their friends, whereas normally what would happen if you lost your suit on the way to a wedding, you would be ordering another suit, you would be paying expedited shipping for it, you would be getting alterations, and then you're out another $400 or $500. So things, being flexible and taking each situation for what it was, really paid off in the long run.
Made a name
for
for
referrals
ourselves.
and more great customer reviews.
So, 3 years now we're in business. Again, started from shipping in Jean's Astoria apartment in New York here. This is home for us. We've since then moved the company to Chicago. We're from the Midwest, so it was growing so quickly. It was time to kind of get back to our Midwestern roots. It's a great wedding market, and this is going to be our third full year in business, and we're looking at doing about $5 million in sales. What continues to be a priority is just the basics that we kind of just discussed. Outreach to wedding planners, building those relationships. You've heard a lot about loyalty programs in the past couple of days, and actually yesterday or day before, we just launched our first loyalty program, and it's actually not to our customers. It's to the wedding planners, it's to the wedding professional community, sort of as a thank you to them and giving them exclusive perks that they can pass along to their engaged couples as a value add for couples to use them for their planning services. And it also helps promote them on social media, and there's a whole sort of suite of perks that we are giving them, but we're really excited to see what that does in helping solidify those relationships that we've been so grateful for. SEO, like I said, is still a labor of love. We're now breaking the website apart again and optimizing pages that we're not super happy with their search performance. And it's like this thing you just kind of build up, you break it down, you build it back up, and so it's never ending.
And things are constantly changing with SEO and how Google looks at things, so we are always on the ball with making sure we're not getting stuck in our ways and just hoping for traffic to come. We're also enhancing the customer experience. A huge investment we made early on when we weren't quite ready to, but knew it was important, was to hire our full-time web developer.
We literally paid her more than what Jean and I make combined. But it was so important, and it really did catapult our store.
It paid off in so many ways of being able to offer a better experience to the customers and manage on the back end for us, so we weren't missing anything. And so recently we've hired a second full-time web developer that's going to increase our ability to react and build more and more options for us to be able to give
first guy
better customer
too.
service. First male employee.
Male hired, number 8.
And then capturing customer reviews still is a huge priority for us, because when planning a wedding, couples always look for reviews, whether it be on a wedding website or our own website. So we have invested in a new platform called Yotpo, integrated into our website, that helps not only make the review an easy thing for the customer to do, because they can write the review right in the one email page, submit a picture right there. You're not channeling through all these different clicks. And then it allows us to share real pictures of what the suits look like on our customers.
So what's next for us? We're super excited to launch a women's line in the fall. we are women and we really love suiting, but it's not that we intend for the Groomsman suit to become a women's suiting brand. It's really part of our mission in being inclusive to all types of weddings. So women no longer wanting to wear bridesmaids dresses, women are standing up on groom sides as groomsmaids, women are marrying each other, and we really want to be a champion for our couples in whatever wedding style that they envision, however unique that may be. And we've from the moment we started the company, we have been told, gosh, your product is great for my high school or for prom. And we've had a lot of parents buy our tuxedos for prom, but this is where as you grow, being that niche brand becomes limiting. And it's really hard for us to think about advertising a brand called the Groomsman suit to a high school demographic. And so we launched DAP Suits as a subsidiary brand for all of those high school moments, graduation, prom, same product, just a new brand for that. And then our Groomsman gift store is coming soon. It's part of our never-ending quest to be that one-stop shop for our couples. We also launched a youth suiting line, so perfectly matching suits for little kids and ring bearers. And then this Groomsman gift store is next, where couples will be able to assemble some nice little boxes of curated accessories to gift to their guys.
And all keeping in mind that we're an affordable, lifestyle brand that can allow guys to set up these Groomsman gifts affordably instead of trying to piece them together from other brands that would make it more expensive. And then we're very excited to be exploring opening a new location. In this picture, this is our Chicago showroom that we were excited to open up and unexpectedly have quite a lot of foot traffic in it, appointments, fittings. As we've learned through several of these presentations, like the experience of going into a store is still important, touching, feeling the product, being able to try it on, even hosting an event where guys can bring their guys in and feel like knock it out all in one fitting session and then go out and party is important. So we are exploring a new location in Philly. So if you are ever in Philly, definitely look us up. It should only be 3 to 6 months out from.
Yeah, we're doing it with a really cool new up-and-coming men's wedding band brand. It's called Hitched. Think like Warby Parker for men's wedding bands. You select 5, it sends you a ring size. We found them because I got married a few months ago, and my husband literally waited till the month of the wedding, and he hadn't gotten a wedding band. I was like, what are you doing? And so then they came to the rescue. Actually, that's the co-founder right there, Chris. But we are teaming up to sort of share the expense of a new showroom and test the concept.
And then just exploring options of partnering with bridesmaids dress, wedding dress companies to get in front of the bride earlier and not have to have a ton of locations in order to get in front of our customers. So we're looking forward to having more conversations with these brands and what we can do to support that and create a really nice little wedding ecosystem, making it way easier and more affordable for couples planning weddings.
So that's it.
That's
Thank you guys for listening to our
thank you so
startup
much.
story. I don't think we have any time for questions, but Debbie,
You have a quick question for them? I just have an innovator award to present to both of you. I think
thank you.
I don't need to say too much more because I think it's pretty obvious to the group that you guys are impressive retail disruptors.
Thank you.
Thank you.